Both parties to the action are understood to have reached agreement which would need only final approval by the federal court. News of a payout comes after Dutch investigators revealed on Wednesday night that 4 men will be charged with murder for their alleged involvement in the July 17, 2014 attack. It is considered likely that a settlement could take place within a week or so, ahead of the 5th anniversary of the shooting down of the aircraft by a Russian missile over the Ukraine, killing all 298 people on board. Many families of the 38 Australian citizens and residents who died have taken preliminary compensation from the airline, understood to amount to about $0.000 or more than $2,000. There is no entitlement to pursue punitive or exemplary damages. Michael Hyland, special counsel with Sydney-based LHD lawyers, said, "We continue to represent several families in a federal court class action, but because the matter is still before the court, it is inappropriate to make any comment on that issue at this stage." Speaking when the compensation claim was submitted in 2016, Ms. Gibson said she had been left with no choice but to take legal action. "It's upsetting that it has had to come to this," she said. "When you are trying to grieve for your loved one who has been wrongly taken away from you, then have to fight another battle to prove their life's worth, it really tests all your emotions." U.S. lawyer Jerry Skinner, who represented victims of the Lockerbie bombing and is lead counsel in a separate international MH17 class action, said their case had grown from his original 33 applicants to 291. Up until yesterday, those of us in the European Courts of Human Rights civil suit filed in Strasbourg, France, were out in the wilderness crying alone that this was an intentional act of murder designed to accomplish exactly what it did, he said. The chain of participants that stretched from the Don base back to Moscow sacrificed 298 innocent lives to act as a provocation for direct invasion of Ukraine. The indictments and the statements of the prosecution stand as indictment of the entire Russian system and its brutal practice of killing innocents and the attempts of Russia to once again impose their will on their neighbors. Former Foreign Affairs Minister Julie Bishop said it was a relief the murder charges had been laid 5 years after she started aggressively pursuing the victim's case. "I welcome this progress," she said on Thursday. "I was outraged that a passenger jet with 298 passengers and crew could be shot down. There were constituents of mine on board." Foreign Affairs Minister Maurice Payne also welcomed the charges. "This is a significant step in the Dutch prosecution towards justice and accountability for the victims and their loved ones," she said. "While we cannot take away the grief of those who lost loved ones, we will continue to do everything possible to ensure justice prevails." In a joint statement, Labour opposition leader Anthony Albanese, Home Affairs spokeswoman Christina Keneally and Foreign Affairs spokeswoman Penny Wong condemned Russia's interference with the investigation. "It is now long past time for Russia to abandon its obstructionist approach and ensure the 4 men charged with this despicable and one act of murder now stand trial in the Netherlands." Federal Labour has seized upon the news of the MH17 arrests to revive its push for new laws empowering the government to penalise foreign actors who carry out such attacks. Victorian Labour Senator Kimberly Kitching will introduce a private member's bill after Parliament resumes next month, which would enable the Foreign Minister to block individuals who commit gross violations of human rights, large-scale acts of corruption or other serious infringements, and their families, from living in Australia or owning property here. Senator Kitching called on the coalition to support the bill, which was modeled on similar legislation passed in the US, UK and Canada, and would enable Australia to ensure that our values are protected, and demonstrate to foreign actors that we will not tolerate that kind of behavior.